Hey man, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Have you noticed all the rain lately?
No.
You haven't noticed all the rain?
No.
Dude, we've been under flood watches and everything else.
Oh.
Just haven't been paying attention?
I mean, it's been raining, but not that much.
Well, you know what April showers brings?
Mayflowers.
Mayflowers. You know what Mayflowers bring?
Pilgrims.
Pilgrims. Welcome to Dom and the Coach.
Welcome.
This week on Dom and the Coach, we have our top 5, which is brought to us by Dom's grandmother and my mother-in-law. We call her Mama Chef or Mom. And so she asked us, hey guys, what are your favorite memories or your favorite vacations from your life? And so since Dom has only been around 18 years, I'm going to let him go first and tell us about his favorite vacations.
Alright. So, my number 5 is... This is like a generalization. Because we've only been to... our cousin has a cabin in Pennsylvania.
Hopewell, Pennsylvania. It's called The Roost.
And every year we go, and I don't think there's been one that's greater than the other.
They've all just been great?
They've all, yeah.
So that's your number 5, or is that your number 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1?
No, that's number 5.
So all of the trips to the cabin.
Well, yeah, we've only been there for 5 years.
Okay. All of the trips to the cabin.
Right?
I don't know. All the trips to the cabin equal your number 5. So what do you like to do at the cabin?
Float on the water.
Float on the water, on the river.
And play 5 crowns.
Play 5 crowns. That's a card game, by the way.
And hang out with family.
Hang out with family. And eat very well.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Number 4.
Another kind of trip that we do where it's like not, can't just choose one, would be every trip we've gone to Outer Banks.
All the trips to the Outer Banks. All the trips to the ocean, both sets of families. All of them?
I mean, yeah, there's been a couple that were better, but
all right.
I can't choose. So just
I don't think you can remember which ones were better than others. I think you just lump them all together.
I mean, and I just love going to the beach, so.
Okay, all right.
Going to the beach in general is just a number 4 vacation for me.
Number 4 vacation. All right.
Number 3 would be 2 years ago when we went with his family to a river house in Virginia. I don't actually know the location.
It's called the Northern Neck. That's what it's called.
Yes. But that was a good vacation. I don't know, we just had a good time there.
So, all right, that was a good one. Okay.
And then, so my number 2 was when our family got the opportunity to go to Make-A-Wish, to have a Make-A-Wish trip.
A Make-A-Wish trip when you were battling cancer?
Yes, and so we decided to go to Florida.
We decided to go to Florida, or?
I don't know. It was solely my decision. I wanted to go to Legoland. And Disney, I said Legoland, but if we can't go to Legoland, Disney. And so they decided to say, you're going both. So, thank you to Make-A-Wish for that.
Hopped on a plane at BWI.
Mm-hmm.
With Florida in our sights. Actually, it was pretty cool. They picked us up in a limo. We went.
That was all. The limo.
It was Dom and
so
Kay's first flight. We went down, flew in Orlando, drove to Legoland. That was an experience. And then we spent some time there. Then we went to Orlando again and spent some time at Disney World. And did a whole Jedi training type thing, and
that was really fun.
It was really cool. It was a neat trip.
Hung out with some family that we have down there.
Yep.
Friends as well.
Spent time with friends and family. Yeah.
And my number 1, for a couple reasons, and I'll list them after I say that.
Okay.
Is the trip my mom and I took to Chicago 2 summers ago.
Yep, 2 summers ago.
So, why I say this is my top vacation or trip is because of all my medical stuff. going to Hopkins a lot, and being part of the NF community, Hopkins reached out, and CTF, the Children's Tumor Foundation, reached out and was like, we have a conference coming up and we would like you to speak at it. And it was in Chicago, and so they were like, we'll cover everything except for some food, but we were fine with that. But they covered the cost of the flight and trip there, and it was really good. And it was my first time actually like meeting others who had NF, and I made 2 friends there and been in contact with them. So
Really cool. Plus, he had to get a new wardrobe and dress all sharp and have a tie, and they got to speak on a panel, which was really neat. And and I think even at one point in time, they Dom was wandering around the hotel and they found him and had him explain NF in Spanish. Yes. Remember, you had to explain, like, you had to talk, you didn't explain all of NF, you just introduced yourself in Spanish. It was for, I don't know, some video group, or you were filmed.
Oh, the Spanish,
PBS or something.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
I wasn't on the trip, but I remember it.
Yes, okay, yeah. Wow. That was weird.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to that? Ready for my list?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Number 5 was a road trip cross country. Uncle Rick, as we call him, my brother-in-law, he was driving from Southern Maryland to Edwards Air Force Base, but he needed a driving buddy, so he asked me to go with him. And we left Southern Maryland at 6 o'clock in the evening, and we arrived in Colorado Springs 8 o'clock the next evening. We went 26 hours straight. We only stopped to gas, to go to the bathroom, stop at McDonald's, of course, and it was non-stop. And what was cool is we arrived in Colorado Springs at 8 o'clock-ish, and it was raining. And so I hadn't seen the mountains yet, and we arrived and at a friend's house, and we immediately went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up, and I was using the bathroom, and as I'm urinating, I'm standing there, and I look out the window, and I'm like, we were literally at the base of a mountain. Had no idea it was the Rockies. Had no idea. I couldn't see the top of the mountain. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I finished, washed my hands, I went back in, woke up Uncle Rick, and I was like, dude, there's like a mountain there. And he woke up, he goes, and it'll still be there. Go back to sleep. And so it was just really cool. And then
that's funny.
And then the next day we drove to Pikes Peak, which was really cool. And it was July 1st. And on July 1st, we drove to the very top of Pikes Peak, and it was snowing. It was just so cool. That's how high it was. And then the next day after that, we drove 12 and a half hours to Las Vegas. And the highlight of that little Vegas trip was, we walked the strip. It was just the two of us. We walked the strip and everything. But when we got to Vegas and the hotel we were staying in, we decided, hey, let's go hit the pool. And the pool we got off on the elevator, and the pool we got out on, we literally walked out, and we're the only 2 guys, and there's just women in string bikinis, like, all down, and we're like, I think we're in the wrong spot. And we just kind of wandered around a little bit, and but no one kicked us out or anything. And then, Uncle Rick asked a couple people, or he asked somebody, hey, what's going on here? And they were like, oh, that's the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader team. And he was like, oh. And he looked at me, and I was like, This was both pre-marriage for both of us. And so we're literally just kind of sitting there. And then all of a sudden, he just kind of hops in the pool, wanders down, or he walked down, and he said, ladies, are any of you interested in going out this evening with me? He literally asked out the entire cheerleading squad. And of course, they were like, oh, and one of them said, oh, we'd love to, but we're actually getting back on a flight in a little bit. And he was like, okay, you all have a safe trip, that type of thing. I'm doing the Cliff Notes version of it, but it was like one of those moments I just sat there, I was like, he just asked out an entire squad of Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Now look, we're Commanders fans or Redskin fans, so that would be like a huge coup in our life. But as he said, sometimes you only have opportunities once in your life. You got to take that shot.
Yep.
And so it was one of those cool moments. But that was number 5 on my list, the road trip. Number 4, the Northern Neck, Virginia trip that we took 2 years ago with my side of the family. And what was really neat, it was on a little river in Virginia, and this river was cute. We could swim in it. The kids did paddle boards and kayaks. We did fishing, crabbing. My dad, Pop, taught us about doublers. You remember what doublers were?
2 crabs.
Yeah, 2 crabs doing what? Mating. 2 crabs mating, and he said that's the best way to catch a crab because you're catching one and the other one's connected. And of course, in our family, we don't eat the females. We always put them back. But doublers, had no idea that was an actual thing. The other thing we did is, what do we call your mom on this show? Miss P? Mom? Anyway, she purchased this big lounging raft thing for us. And
that was fun.
That was really cool. We inflated it, tied it up to the dock that we had, and we all took turns lounging on that and jumping through it and swimming to it and such. It was so much fun. We just had a blast, crabbing, fishing, swimming, floating around. And then also within the trip, we took a trip within the trip. We took a day trip and rowed a boat out to the middle of the Chesapeake to Tangier Island. Yeah. And it was just so neat, this quiet little town on this island out in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay, and learning the history. And the boat ride was wonderful and such. So.
That was a lot of fun. And then we did the sunset cruise on that trip too, or was that a different one?
That was a different trip. That was one of the Williamsburg trips. Okay, and then the next one, number 3 for me, was when we rented a house for all of my wife's side of the family, and it was called Park Place. Just like the Monopoly game Boardwalk and Park Place. There was 2 side-by-side blue houses, painted the colors of the Monopoly board. And Park Place, we didn't rent Boardwalk, we rented Park Place. Park Place was huge, oceanfront, and it housed all 26 of us. It had a theater room. It had double kitchens, double dining room, monster TV.
Monster pool.
Everything. Yeah, it had a huge pool in the back.
I remember that pool.
Yeah, that was very cool. And of course it was oceanfront, so you had your own personal dock, or walkway, out to the ocean, and or out to the beach. And we just had so much fun, and that was the first time our family had a 5 Crowns tournament. Yeah. And I'm happy to say that I was the champion of the 5 Crowns, the initial.
I wasn't old enough at the time.
No, you were sitting in a high chair probably. So, no, you wouldn't have participated, so.
No, I was 6.
No, you weren't. You were 1. Thank you. Anyway, you were in a high chair. I just remember you were in a high chair, and we kept giving you ring pops. Why are you staring down at the floor? You lumped in all of the beach trips. I remember beach trips. You lumped them all in as your number 4.
All right.
Anyway, let me keep going.
Stop trashing my list.
I'm not trashing.
Well, I'm going to start trashing yours.
I don't think you can. But anyway, it was such a cool trip that we had together. So, hey, stop looking at my list. Come on, man. This is our 12th episode. This is the first time we've looked. All right, so my number 2 trip was one, again, before Miss P and I were married. We went out to L.A. to see 2 people. We saw Uncle Al, that's my uncle, and we saw Uncle Rick, his uncle, or my brother-in-law, her brother. And we flew out to L.A., spent a couple days with Uncle Al, and we went to Universal Studios. We met up with Uncle Rick there, and we met up with him there. And I think he went with us, and then he drove us out to Edwards Air Force Base, and we hung out around there, and he showed us like the historical stuff, and where Chuck Yeager broke the original sound barrier Mach 1, and then we drove. We also did paintball there, which was really kind of cool. We met some of Uncle Rick's friends, and we drove up to Yosemite National Park. Beautiful. We literally camped on the river that runs right through the park. And in the morning, we woke up and there was Half Dome, that big solid mountain that you've probably seen in pictures. And then later that day, we drove to Las Vegas, 11-hour trip, which should have only been like a 6-hour trip, but we kept getting lost. We made it to Vegas, spent a couple days there, or a day there, drove back to Edwards, spent another day there, had a cookout, went back to LA, jumped on a plane, and it was just a whirlwind of a trip. But it was one that, oh man, it was so cool. Your mom and I, it was like a non-stop adventure, except for like sitting in the cars at times. But one of the things that I remember most about that trip is the 11-hour trip to Vegas, the road trip to Vegas. The car we were riding in, this guy Eli, he had one CD, and it was Alanis Morissette's original CD that she came out with. I think it's Ironic was the name of the CD. We listened to that thing over and over and over again. And I thought that it was ironic that the only thing we heard was the Ironic CD. Anyway, and then my number one trip after the wedding, we went on our honeymoon to the Poconos. Caesar's Resort in the Poconos. We spent 5.5 or 6 days up there. Man, we had a lot of fun. Well, why are you silent? We had a blast. We ate well. It was a nice resort. Mm-hmm. We went horseback riding. We hit golf balls, I think. I don't know. I really can't remember all the things I remember the things we did, but I can't remember everything we did.
Of course you remember that.
Anyway, my favorite trip was a honeymoon. Honeymoon, by far. Anything you want?
I think that's every husband's favorite trip.
Yeah, maybe. Anniversaries are fun too.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, a lot of activities. So anyway,
sleeping during the day,
okay,
not at night.
Stop.
No sleeping at night.
No sleeping during the day either. What's wrong with you? Okay, would you like to add anything or take away anything?
Nope.
All right, want to move on to the question?
Yeah.
All right. So Dom recently participated in a competition for the state of Maryland, SkillsUSA, and he participated for visual media. Is that what it is?
Radio audio.
Radio audio for SkillsUSA. But before we jump really into the question, I guess the question is, Dom, what is SkillsUSA?
So, SkillsUSA is basically just there. So, like, the tech school I go to is partnered with it. And there's a lot of schools.
Why are we talking so much with our hands?
Because I learned from you.
Oh, that's true, you did.
And I have it on Google.
Do you want, just go ahead and read it.
It's preparing students who are in high school and college for workplace skills. So, like, you have anything from Academy of Health, finance stuff, automotive, you name it, they basically have a competition for it. And it just, doing this trains you to be able to have a job in that field.
And SkillsUSA allows you to compete, so you understand kind of what it means to have deadlines, have an opportunity or a challenge placed in front of you, and to do something within it. So Dom qualified this year at the regional tournament, and from there he qualified for states here in Maryland. And so this past week he participated in it. And Dom, what place did you earn at states this year?
Third place.
Third place. Look at this. Nice bronze. Is this real bronze? I don't know if it's real bronze or not.
Okay. Don't bite my stuff.
That's a thing, man. You know.
Hey, we can say gold because
that's not
gold.
gold. It's bronze. He got third place. He and his buddy. What's your buddy's name?
Craig.
Craig. Anyway, he and Craig finished third place. Congratulations to you guys. Unfortunately, his SkillsUSA for high school is over now, but you know, never know. Maybe in college they'll participate again.
Yeah, I'm hoping that CSM.
Right. So it was digital media, correct?
Yeah. Well, TV video production is like the actual field that they call it, and within that, my teacher has, or the tech school I'm at, has multiple competitions. Like there's the radio audio, which is it's like a radio news PSA thing. It was weird.
All right.
And then there's like news broadcasting, where you actually are doing a full news sportscast.
Okay.
And then there's digital media, or no, digital cinema, which is basically you make a mini movie and then you present it. And then there's TV video production, even though that's the name of the career. It's video of the audio.
Okay.
So the audio radio and the TV video one are in the same competition.
Got it.
Just the audio portion is audio and the video one is
So there's a lot of little competitions. Plus,
I think there's 4 or 5.
That's just in that one section, but there was also criminal justice. They also had nursing, carpentry, HVAC, steelworking. I mean, all across all the different types of trades and different types of careers and such. So, you all right?
Yeah.
Yawning again.
Okay, I can't.
All right, it's okay. So anyway, there was a whole lot of competition. So congratulations to all the people that participated. I know I had a few kids from my school, Thomas Stone, participating this weekend too. So, or that weekend. Anyway, congratulations to all of them. And, congratulations to Dom, third place in states. That's nothing to look down upon. And, we're really proud of you in this accomplishment. And again, we believe that the podcast has helped you in this venture a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
And, you were able to do timetable. You were able to understand what it means to have a deadline and such. And,
I think we mentioned this in the previous episode, but when because we had practice competitions to, get us ready for it, and both of the ones we did, we flopped. It was bad.
You didn't flop, you finished.
The first one... we're not even going to talk about that. But here, I told Craig that we were going to crack down, get all of our crap done by 10. And we were out of there at 11:45.
All right, that's not bad. And they had time to spare. I think you guys had an hour and a half time to spare.
Yeah.
So they were able to make some corrections and such. So, but all in all, again, it's experience, and this is the career field you want to go into. So it's just more and more experiences. So, anything else you want to add to this episode?
No.
All right. Well, look, y'all, thank you very much. Continued thank you for the support, the love, and the views. Again, hit share after you watch it. Hit share it with your friends. Like, subscribe, listen on Spotify. What do you want to add?
Don't forget to, if you purchase stuff for
Expense Apparel,
to mention Dom and the Coach for $5 off.
$5 off Expense Apparel when you mention Dom and the Coach. If you know, you know.
Yes.
And so, we love them. And so, anyway, just like, subscribe, comment, send us messages, anything you want us to do a top 5 on, any questions you have for Dom. And we appreciate everybody out there. We love you guys. Thank you.